I'm thinking we go the Fast and Furious route and just call it Too
Fast and
Unwanted,
Furious? Oh.
Too Unwarranted.
Just every single new episode we do, we have to add some like unwanted and no. We could just add words to it. I don't know. What have you been up to, Jarrett?
All right, well, I work for, I'm not going to dox myself, so I work for an apartment complex that I live in, and basically I ride around in a van with an old dude, and we fix stuff up in apartments. Say you need a window, we'll put a new window in your apartment.
Okay. Do you have any, I feel like knowing that area and what the tenants are like, has there been any chance encounters or strange encounters with tenants?
No, because most of the tenants are moved out by now. But I mean, I've gone into some apartments that are fucking disgusting. Like, you walk in and it smells like an ashtray, and it's like, it's just dirty, man. I don't get how these people live like that.
Aren't you just allowed to like take stuff if the people aren't living there anymore?
Yeah, if it's there, we can take it. I've gotten a sleeping bag. I've gotten some new pots and pans. I've gotten a fly swatter.
The sleeping bag's new. Is it a good sleeping bag?
The sleeping bag is new. It's a really nice sleeping bag. It's like one of those mummy sleeping bags.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's like name brand. Like, I don't know why they left it behind.
Yeah, dude, I've been doing freelance stuff, so I'm using websites like what is the one, like Hire Up or Upwork, something like that. So basically it's like Facebook. So there's just like a feed, like a front page, and you can sort by the kind of job, and there's some serious ones. So like the one that I'm doing right now, one that I proposed was for a CBD website. And they have a bunch of guides on it that like just describe what CBD is and stuff like that. And they want a book made of it. So I need to...
A book?
Yeah, the proposal I made, just like how you say I want to do this job.
Yeah.
Like, he wants it all edited, and then he wants it compiled into an actual like ebook that he can put on various websites, like the Kindle store and stuff like that. And you can like set your price. So I set my price for that as like $20 an hour. Of course, the website takes a cut, so I would be walking away with like 16.
I mean, that's not bad at all.
No, not really. But there are some jobs that are just ridiculous. Like there was one from a dude in like Africa who was like, I need app.
A Nigerian prince.
It's something like, basically, yeah. He was like, I need app made, and then
excuse me,
app for code making and like Google, and that's the description. And then under pay, like it was like $2 an hour or something like that. Like, wow. There are just
that's a lot in Africa.
That's just totally he's leveraging all the money he got from his phone scams to do that job. The one that I've had success so far was on a totally different website, but it was that gaming website, so gamercraft.com, and he wanted somebody to write articles, and it's super nice guy, pretty good gig. So I did one on Apex Legends and why I don't think it's going to be a very good esport. So yeah, that I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed working with him.
Why don't you give the name of it? Let the people know.
The website's called gamercraft.com, and if you go to that URL, it will be it's like other esports stuff. But if you want to get to the articles, I've done one of them, and he's done the rest, or he has various contributors. But it's craft.gamercraft.com.
Where is it like located?
It's just a website, but the guy's offices are like in. I can look it up, but the guy's offices are.
Oh, I just didn't know if it was like a local thing.
No, it's not local at all.
Okay.
Most of the jobs I'm doing are remote jobs, so stuff I can just do from home, because really
that's cool.
I hate leaving my house, and I don't.
Yeah, I don't
really
blame you, man.
I did a few interviews after I graduated that were just borderline scams. Like, I went to one, and if you go on any job website like Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and stuff like that, there's like companies will just use every single tag word imaginable. So they'll tag like marketing, PR, writing, sales, blah 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 blah, and like 50 words. So no matter what you search, they come up. And
Yeah, I can imagine.
I keep getting emailed to them, but basically what they are like MLM things, so multi-level marketing jobs, where like I'll take you through this interview. So I go in and there's a super nice girl who I had talked to on the phone a few times, just sitting at the desk, just blaring EDM. So I walk in, I'm like, oh, this is a pretty nice, pretty chill place to work. And everybody else is there. There's like 3 other people who work there and like 3 other people who are there for the job. The people who work there look like they just got out of high school, which they did, spoiler alert. And they're all just wearing like these incredibly like cheap suits with like hair slicked back, and like there was this one redheaded dude who like sauntered in, and he was extremely skinny and like probably like 5'9" or something like that, and he looked like he owned the place, and he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hi, how's it going? I'm here for an interview. So me and these 2 other people, we all do our individual interview, and he like, for the singular one, he just talks about like how you are, like what you did, and I'm like, this is...
Wait, was the redheaded guy getting interviewed?
No.
Also,
The redheaded guy already had
interviewee?
the job, and I'll explain his position in a minute.
Okay.
But it started out in like a one-on-one typical job interview, and it went really well. And he said, the guy who was interviewing was like, this isn't my office, by the way. This is this guy's office, who's the owner of the company. Now, if you think you're good, we'll take you to another one. It takes like another 2 hours, and I had another job interview in like an hour and a half. So I'm like,
The interview took 2 hours?
He told me that the second interview was going to take 2 hours.
My God, what are they interviewing you on?
And then one of the girls who already got past like the first part of the interviews, he's like, oh, we'll just do them together. So I'll run through it in like 45 minutes, in like an hour or so. Shouldn't be too bad. And I'm like, oh, I have another job interview, but oh well. So 20 minutes later, we're all done. And I ask him, I'm like, what's a typical day like? And he says, well, I get in my car and I go to one of these neighborhoods, and we all get our area. We go door to door, and we ask people if they want to pay for our client. And their client is an energy company. So the job that I had interviewed for that I didn't know was for a sales position, and you got paid on commission, and you had to do a certain number of sales in a week. And he told me, straight-faced, he goes, now when you go home, and your family asks you what kind of job you interviewed for, don't say it's a sales job, because whenever people say that, their families always talks them out of it. And I said, okay, this is a scam. And then he explained, he pulled out a big whiteboard, and there were charts, and there were names with circles, and then lines drawn to other circles with names, and those names had lines with circles. He's like, okay, so if in 3 months, if you do this number of sales, you get promoted to a manager. And at this point, I already know that it's not for me, so I'm just nodding and saying yes. And the girl next to me is also in on it. She's also picked up what he is putting down. So he's like, man, we'd love to have you. You're great. And I said, thank you very much. I'll get back to you. He told me he'd call me later. I missed the call from the owner telling me if I did or did not have the job. I called him back like the next day at like 6. And he's like, Jeremy, we'd love you. You were great. We want you on the team. And I said, I'm not interested in sales. But if you need a PR person, let me know. And he didn't know what PR was. He was like, you mean like social media? I was like, well, that's part of it. And then I said, thank you for the opportunity. And I hung up the phone. And then I emailed him, and I pitched the creation of a PR position. Because if you don't know what PR is and you own a business, it's probably not going to bode well for your business. Like if you go to their website, I'm going to send you a link to their website, because it's actually really gross. I'm not going to DDoS the company, but I'll send you this. Yeah, so you can see from their website that there's some interesting things here. And it's a gross, like their logo has sun.
Their logo looks like the internet, like Edge.
Yeah.
Like that logo just
And
flipped like
you'll notice,
times
and in their
red.
office there's a big like framed painting of that.
Is this a virus, Jeremy? It's not even loading. Oh, here we go. All right.
They're
developing future
none
leaders.
of the words
Who
on
are
this
these
website
people?
mean anything. So if their logo, for those of you listening, is like a 3D cube, but it's all made out of the letter E, and there's a lens flare in the bottom left corner, and then there's and then
Oh, I
there's the
didn't even
word
notice the
Empire with the
lens
lens flare in the middle and a drop shadow, and it looks it's really bad. So
I like the. Wait, is this the one you were talking
no,
about
no, no,
in
no.
Chicago?
That was an actual job that I unfortunately did not get.
Oh,
This one was in Troy, and
okay.
the interview I had after that was with a different company that did the exact same thing. So I told that with a much better website though. So I told them I could not make the interview and I was going a different direction. So that was the first day.
I'm reading it. Damn, that sucks, dude. I'm reading it right off the website, and I still don't know what they do.
It's purposefully like that. So there's no way of actually knowing what. That's why when I asked him what the day-to-day was, he was like, okay. So yeah, that was my first interview. That was the day after I graduated.
Their email, oh my god. Do you see their email?
I had to have because I definitely sent emails back to him. What is it? Oh,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
say
I
it on
see
the
their
podcast,
email.
but it's funny.
Mm,
Speaking of which, we should talk about the elephant in the room here. We haven't done a podcast in a year or so, and I get so many tweets daily
asking us to bring it
when's
back.
the
Yeah.
podcast coming back? When's
They're
the
like,
podcast coming back? When's going
We
to be
saw that
the next episode?
Super Mega had moved to Patreon, and we were really afraid of them taking a lot of our audience and Patreon donors.
They just did
Well,
that recently.
yeah, now
though.
that's why we're doing the follow up now, is because we're afraid that they're gonna take all of our
Oh,
Patreons.
yeah, right.
Also, the header image that I can't stop looking at is like a Earth marble with the continents in gold, and the background is just.
Oh, you still talking
I
about-
just noticed this. The background is just 1010101010. So I'm gonna. I'll
Great
probably put an
binary.
image of this with the company name blurred in the YouTube description, but. Man, it was an interesting thing. I went on another job interview that was... So, in the Pokemon movie... Did you see Detective Pikachu?
I did not see Detective Pikachu.
The main character, at the very beginning of the movie, he tells someone, he's like... Or somebody says, you don't want to sell health insurance forever. You're about to turn 21. And the day before that... that's what they prompt for him leaving his hometown. And the day before that, or the day I watched that, the next day I had an interview with the health insurance company, and I was turning 21 the next day. So I was like, oh, this is a bad omen for my job interview at a health insurance company tomorrow. So I went to the interview.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very angry African-American woman who was annoyed that I had gone there for an interview. Maybe she thought I was going to take her job. I could have done better than her anyway. But she was annoyed when I handed her my resume.
Ooh.
And then I filled out... So if you're ever going for a job interview and they give you a 50-question packet about, like, your feelings and like, what you look for in a job, like, it's a bad sign. It's probably not a real job. So I fill out this 50-question questionnaire, and they lead me into a room.
If you know that, why'd you fill it out?
I was already there, and I said, okay, worst case... I drove 45 minutes here. Worst case, I get interview practice,
okay.
and I'll improve that way. And the
Fair
name
enough.
of the company was Michigan Inc. And this, I am gonna DDoS them because they're garbage. But the name of the
It's not. You're not
Doxing, that's what I
DDoSing
meant.
them. You're doxing them.
The name of the fake name that they gave was called Michigan Inc. And when you Google Michigan Inc., of course, nothing shows up. The actual name of their company, I don't remember the actual name, but yeah, Michigan
Inc.
Yeah, that was
Michigan
the fake
Incorporated. That is the laziest fucking name
Yeah, so
I've ever
if
heard
you
in my
Google
life.
that, nothing actually comes up. No
Shocker.
like websites or anything. But so I go in and there's this big crest that looks like it was made in 2003 that has a different name of a different marketing agency, and there's a room of like 300 people. Not 300, I'm exaggerating. Probably like 50 people. So it's a big room. And there are these...
That's a big
sorry.
jump off there, Jim.
There's like 50 chairs, and then in front there's a big boardroom table with like 6 leather-bound chairs with their crest like sewn into the top. And
That's pretty badass.
It was
though, you have to
badass.
admit.
It's not the most badass part. But I was sitting there, and like some of these people weren't even dressed for interviews. Like some were wearing like sweatshirts, and just nobody had. I was the best dressed in the entire room, and out of the I see
Congrats.
a McLaren like FP1 just screech by the window, and I said, "Who is that guy?" And then that guy walked in, and it turned out
I
he
want to
was
be
the
that
very
guy.
top of this multi-level marketing company.
Wow. The
He was
head of
he was
Michigan
the
Inc.?
president, I'll say. So this lady walks in as I'm like, this is 100% bullshit. This lady walks in, and she is also in on it like I am. I think we're the only two people in this whole room who know what's up. She's like, oh, this is not what I expected. Like, I have somewhere to be soon. And the guy was like, oh, wait, like within the next half an hour, we'll start our presentation. It's about 45 minutes long. And the lady's like, yeah, I'm not waiting for that. And she leaves. And I go to the guy next to me, and I'm like, this is a scam, you know, right? So if you Google when I Googled the name of the real company, it was like, is so-and-so a scam? That was the very first hit on Google. So I left, and I walked past the guy who had the McLaren, and he's like, are you leaving already? And I was like, this is bullshit. So I walked out, I drove my 45 minutes home, and I haven't been to an in-person interview since. And after that, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna apply for remote jobs, so I don't have to keep going to these scam interviews. I should get around to going to actual interviews, but the probably 100 or so resumes I've sent out, a few replies. There was a really cool company in Chicago that I made it to the final interview process with, but they chose somebody else that looked like a cool place to work for. But yeah, that's been my post-college experience so far.
Yeah, well, Jeremy graduated. I am still in college, so I do not have any post-college experience yet. But we'll get there.
I really, I've really been missing the college lifestyle and thinking back to all the fun we had tearing it up in Mount Pleasant.
Oh yeah, dude. It's getting pretty lonely.
Yeah,
here.
I was thinking about
All by
just taking a
myself.
weekend and coming up. Probably sleep in our friend Matt's bed, just hang out.
Yeah,
I don't
do
know.
it. Jonah comes.
I should
back every
coordinate
once
with
in a
him
while,
whenever
but-
he's up there. I'll probably let me know, and I'll spend a weekend up there because by God, I am bored out. None of my
For
friends live by me. I'm bored out of my mind.
Matt works every weekend, but we should try. We still got.
Yeah,
to
that's a good
Point
idea.
at
My
some
house isn't too far away from it. We could crash here. Well, I say not too far. It's closer than Mount Pleasant. But
All right,
yeah,
we'll
we can
talk
talk
about it
about this off air.
Yes. So I have recently, or actually no, let me say this. Jeremy, one of our new favorite shows is coming back this Sunday.
Is it? Well, I know Big Bang Theory just ended. Is Big Bang Theory coming back?
I wasn't expecting
I
that.
thought you were being sarcastic.
Dude, no, it's the new episode
yeah,
of Family Guy,
I
dude.
forgot. What?
No,
Oh, is
Big
it?
Little
Okay,
Lies,
nice.
bro. It's coming back on Sunday.
Big Little Lies is so good. It's a story about 5 or 6 California housewives, and that's a terrible pitch, but it's really good.
Someone
who-
dies.
And then
That's
starts,
all I'm gonna say. But the acting is incredible. It's like some of the
one of the best
acting I've ever seen.
acted shows I've
It's
ever
like-
seen.
Like, I mean, you feel like you're watching actual people. You're not feeling like they're actors. They are just like the
Yeah,
embodiment
it's
of
really
the
good.
character.
I
It's
bought
pretty
my mom
nuts.
the book. She hasn't even opened it yet. I did show her the show. We watched the first 2 episodes, and then she predicted the rest of the season.
Your mom guessed the shit, bro.
Which
It
is
was
incredible
nuts.
to me because there is no other scenario watching a TV show where she has even come close to A, understanding what's currently going on, and B, guessing what's going to happen.
Yeah, she was like, spoilers. It's the twins, and I was
Nobody
like,
has
I would try
time
so
after
hard
that
not to
spoiler
be
alert
like,
to leave.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a good show. I watched something yesterday. I spent probably all day watching it. Apple's WWDC event, or Dub as they're trying to call it. So it's the Worldwide Developers Conference where they talk about all the new stuff.
Developers. That's my Steve
It was
Ballmer
really good.
impression.
But yeah, they announced all the software updates for the new iPhones, for the new iPads, for
Didn't iOS 13
I
beta
haven't
just
had a
come out
chance to
yesterday?
install it yet. I use both an iPhone. I use an
You don't have
iPhone
an
SE,
iPhone.
and
Oh.
my main phone is a OnePlus 6T. But So I have both the Android and.
I don't think your SE's
No,
gonna be able to handle 13. I heard even iPhone X's
I was
were fucking
I was afraid
overheating
that
on
it
Reddit.
wouldn't get the update, but yeah, I usually do download iOS betas, but they keep destroying my devices. So my SE.
Yeah, I'd rather wait till it just comes
It's a
out
lot
full.
of months though. So I downloaded the Watch beta last year, and that worked fine. The iPhone beta worked fine, and then the Mac beta. So Mac OS, like the install size is like 20 gigs, but for whatever reason, when I downloaded the beta, it downloaded the new OS and didn't delete the old one. So now 50 gigs of my 120 gigabyte storage is taken up by the system. So I keep having to constantly delete stuff. So yeah, that's my. I'm not downloading the new Mac OS this time, but they announced a new dark mode for the iPhone. Didn't you just get a new phone?
I did just get a new phone. I got an iPhone X.
How do you like that
S.
so far? The X.
I love
Oh,
it.
the 10s.
Yes.
Or the tennis.
It is very nice. The only complaint is that I have to pull down to get to the command center instead of scroll up, and it's kind of fucking me up. But I'm sure I'll get used to it. I just got it last week, so.
What do you like about it? Because I haven't. AJ just got one. My friend AJ, and he traded in all of his old Apple devices to set it up, which means when he got the new device, he needed to verify his Apple ID on a different Apple device, which he just didn't have. So for like 2 days, he didn't have a phone. What are you liking about it so far? And why did you pick that one over the others, like the 10R?
Well, for one, I don't like how the 10R is aluminum. I mean, the back of this one is glass, but I have a case on it, so it looks pretty sleek, I think. The camera is noticeably better than the 6S, and also, you know this, but my phone was fucked. Like the 6S, I had it for 3 years, and I needed an upgrade, just period. The aux cord would fall out of it. I could barely play music.
Issue.
I had to position the charger in the most specific ways to get it to charge.
Did your car not have Bluetooth?
My car does not have Bluetooth. I would have had to get like a radio thing, and those things suck anyway.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
I have the 6T right now, and I got rid of the case, and I installed a D-brand skin. Are you familiar with these?
A D-brand skin?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of it.
I'll send you the one I got, and I love it right now. So it's just a sticker, and my phone is the slipperiest phone ever. Like the back is glass, and it's smoother than a stick of butter, right? So I need it, like it would just fall out of my hand, or like you couldn't rest it on anything. So I'll send you a photo of the skin I got. It's a wood grain sticker for those listening. So the back of my phone looks like it's a smooth piece of mahogany wood.
Yeah, you would like that, you piece of shit.
So there's a ton of options, and on the SE,
Did you not hear what I said?
No, I heard. I was just
completely ignored me.
Yeah, I just moving on.
Right.
Yes. So on the SE, I got the marble skin, which I really enjoyed, and it just makes it like so the phone's not slippery and it protects it. I obliterated my SE, by the way, because it was in a case, and once I dropped it, so I got out of my car and I had my phone in my hand, and I heard something fall, and then I looked. This
doesn't look like wood. This looks black.
Click the wood one, dumbass.
The wood one. All you sent was this fucking. All right, let me go to the link.
Yeah, just click the link. So, when I looked down, my phone was on the ground, screen shattered. I got a replacement screen. It didn't work because I went to some bootleg company. I got a different replacement screen. It still didn't work, so I got a new phone. I got the OnePlus, which I really enjoy. Although a lot of the new iOS features, I'm thinking I'm gonna switch back pretty soon. I'm really enjoying, like the dark mode looked cool, which Android has, but Apple's new thing where it will spoof an email address when you sign up for something, so you don't get spam emails, was like that's a selling feature all the way.
Oh yeah, the wood one is cool.
Yeah, and then I have the marble one if you want to take a look at that one, but I went with mahogany this time.
Whoa,
because I think it's the right level of fancy.
I feel you. It's not too bougie, but at the same time,
it's subtle enough where I had a phone where the back was actually wood, like it was legit.
You had a wood phone.
Yeah, the back of the phone was 100% wood. I had that when I was in high school. But the battery on the phone was I got a lemon. The battery
You had to
only
put it
lasts
in the
like 2
sunlight
hours.
to get it to charge.
Yeah,
Water it.
it let off oxygen and it ate CO2, my phone screen.
Hey, that's a pretty good selling feature right there.
It charges via sunlight and puts out oxygen.
No, it lets out oxygen. Imagine if you're like drowning. Well, if you're drowning, I guess it wouldn't really work.
Yeah, just suck on my phone. One of the issues that quickly arose with making a phone out of actual wood is that people in like dry climates, it would shrink and crack, and people in humid climates, it would expand and it would just blow their phone up. So eventually they stopped doing that. It was a Motorola phone. That was probably the coolest phone I ever had, but it was a piece of garbage. I went back to my old community college that I went to in high school today to film B-roll for this podcast that people are probably going to see. And I still saw people that I went to high school with, which was disgusting and revolting.
Yeah, of course. You see people you go to high school with all over the place.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite things because I hated high school so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went out in the woods and I filmed some stuff. And as I was walking out there, there were 2 people. One of them I think was a differently abled human being. They both told me to watch out for the mosquitoes, and now I'm covered in mosquito bites from head to toe.
Maybe you're the differently abled one.
You know what? I am definitely differently abled.
They warned you ahead of time. They said, "Hey, there's mosquitoes out there," and you went in there anyway.
My exact thought was, it can't be that bad. And it was that bad. If you're watching the video, there's parts where the camera gets really shaky, and it's because I'm slapping parts of my body to kill these mosquitoes. But it reminded me of a time when I was working at CM Life at university, where I covered an article about
what university could that be?
Where
CM Life.
I did an article about. I already said that we lived in Mount Pleasant.
It's Central Montana, by the way.
Yeah, Central Montana University. Their famed journalism school.
Of course.
Yeah, when I was doing an article, and me and this guy Rob, we had to we were interviewing the scientist, like a proper actual scientist who's like written books and had papers published and stuff like that. And his job was like he was a doctor. Man was not a medical doctor, but like the cool kind of doctor.
He had a PhD.
The kind who doesn't try and put dirty vaccines in you.
Ooh.
His job was to research mosquitoes. So he worked with mosquitoes all day long. And one of the ways you feed mosquitoes is you order like these blood, like literally bags of blood burgers, bags of human blood, and you feed those to the mosquitoes. But they're really expensive, and they're hard to get.
Really, bags of blood that's expensive and hard to get.
Shockingly difficult to acquire. So what him and his coworkers would do is that when you needed to feed the mosquitoes, they would just stick their arms into these cages and then like seal their arms in, and the mosquitoes would just feed on all their arms, and they'd pull them out, and they'd have hundreds of mosquito bites just covered in them. Like their whole like elbow down would just be coated in mosquito bites. And what happens is the human body will very quickly learn to just stop giving a shit about them because there's just so many. It just can't it just can't make the stuff to get rid of them. So him and all of his coworkers had established an immunity to mosquito bites. And every time someone tells me the mosquitoes are bad, I think to myself, it's fine. I'll just establish an immunity to mosquito bites. And that is the space I put my mind in. And
yeah, but you're not a scientist, Jeremy.
Okay, hang on. I'm getting around to that. And I do a very similar thing with when I think I'm going to get sick. So when I think I'm going to get sick, I'll just say, nah, just don't get sick. And that worked for a time. And then I realized I was just lying to myself. And then now I actually do get sick. But Jarrett, I'm talking to you 3-4 hours later. None of the mosquito bites on me itch or like are even present. So I think I'm immune now.
Well, okay. No, here's the thing. Mosquito bites become irritated. That's how they itch. So if you see your mosquito bite and you begin to itch it, then it'll only get worse. So if you just don't itch your mosquito bites, there's a strong possibility that they'll go away.
That's what I've done, and it's worked so far. So I'm gonna chill. I'm not worried about it at all. Of course,
when I was a kid, I used to get
slowly becoming aware of the mosquito bites all over me. Go ahead.
There you go. When I was a kid, I used to get mosquito bites really bad, and to get rid of the itch, I would put a liquid Band-Aid on it. So
What?
liquid Band-Aid?
Is that like when you get stung by a jellyfish and someone pees on you?
No. It's like an actual thing, liquid Band-Aid.
I've never even heard of that.
It's kind of like glue, I guess you could call it. But it's not glue. It's called liquid Band-Aid. And it's
Jared,
got like...
I was raised in a upper middle class family, constantly being reminded that we were poor, even though we weren't. So all of the mosquito bite treatments, like the spray on stuff, the medication, we didn't have any of that. We were told to suck it up.
Yeah,
So
well,
now
this is
that
at my dad's house, so that was definitely not... We were nowhere... Not that well off, I should say.
Yeah, but you weren't under the illusion that you couldn't afford anything. I was, and when I showed my parents these medications in the store, they called me a pussy, and they told me to suck it up. I have this strange, like, totally unfettered anger at my family for not letting me go to space camp, even though I really wanted to go to space camp my entire childhood.
Space camp.
Like, my dream. Do you know
Like in
what
Florida? I know
Yeah.
what space camp is.
I wanted to go to space camp so goddamn bad.
Space
my
camp
brother-
is expensive, bro.
Oh, yeah. My brother played baseball his entire life. So, like, the thousands of dollars that they dedicated to him playing this pointless sport, I could have gone to space camp.
All right.
I'm gonna look up
Baseball,
how much space camp
thousands of dollars into baseball.
Oh, yeah. The
Was he on
6-day
like a
program
travel team?
for adults. They have adults. He was not on a travel team, but he played played like 2 seasons a year, and there was like 500 each. Space camp for adults exists, and
Well, there you go. You can
it's
live your own dreams.
$600.
$600. That's it.
3 full days of activities, as well as meals, 2 nights of lodging on site. For children's 9 to 14, the 6-day camp program that I wanted to go to so bad cost $1,000.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. That's pretty nuts.
Considering, though, throughout my childhood, I went to Disney probably 7 times, I think we could have swung to send me to space camp once.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Your parents were thinking. They were like, Disney, we can go and have a good time, too.
Listen,
If we send Jeremy to space camp, we're not going to have a good time. Jeremy's going to have a good time. So they were like, we'll save our money.
nobody in my family, Disney was not a fun experience, Jared. Disney was a stressful experience.
Dude, it's the happiest place on earth. What are you talking
It was
about?
miserable. Like this, that's why I don't want. Like there were fun times, and like going on the rides is fun. And I look back on those memories fondly. But a lot of the time is just your parents yelling at you and saying, and just telling you to shut up and just go this way. We're doing this. You're having fun now. Like that's my Disney experience.
I definitely feel you on the whole, all right, we're going to go here and we're going to have fun. Like, you know what I mean? On part of the vacation.
That was
It's like, okay, now we're going to go to fucking Joe's Crab Shack and we're going to have fun. And it's
I would
I don't wanna go to
always
Joe's
say,
Crab
like,
Shack.
I learned as an adult that, like, just telling my parents, I'm gonna go hang out and do my own thing over here with my brother. See you guys later. Like, that's a thing that I enjoy doing. And when I went without my parents, I had a really good time because I was the leader of the group, and I was very conscious of not doing the we're gonna go here and have fun thing. Like, I went in high school and I was like the tour guide basically because I'd been so many times. I'd been on every ride. But yeah, I was chill about it, and I was like, okay, we'll just go this way. My parents, we always went around Christmas time, and Disney just constantly decorated around, like everything is just obscenely decorated for Christmas. And this one time we went to the boardwalk, and you can't just go to the boardwalk. You have to take a ferry, or you have to take a bus, and you have to do this and go there and blah 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 blah, all for like 12 shops on a man-made lake. And it's really humid, and the music sucks, and it's all like Disney. It's too much. They're
It's a
shoving
Small
happiness
World
down
is
your throat.
Terrible. I just
cannot
want to
go
put
that
that in
ride
there.
anymore. Yeah, that's a good. I'll second that. But coming back was impossible because there are no like ways to leave Boardwalk without going to one of the parks. So you have to take a ferry to like Epcot and then go into Epcot and use one of your tickets. And then you can go back to your thing.
That's how they get you.
It was a miserable rigmarole, and I always think of that whenever I go to Disney, and particularly on this trip where I went with high schoolers, most of whom had not been to Disney or had been to Disney once or twice when they were kids, had a great idea of like, oh, let's go do this fun thing, I would always stipulate, nothing is easy in Disney. It's all a pain in the ass.
That is true.
So yeah, that's my Disney experience.
My Disney experience is that I liked Universal Studios better than Disney.
Are you a Harry Potter fan? Because when I went to Universal, I could have just stayed in Harry Potter Land the whole time.
I went before Harry Potter. Like, Harry Potter Land was being built when I was there, so I didn't get to go to that. But I still had a great time. I really liked the Dueling Dragons and the Hulk ride. I'm a big roller coaster guy, so
I like roller coasters, but I don't like them until I've already done one.
I feel you. I used to be really scared of roller coasters, but like the only one that I was truly scared to ride, like actually, like I was probably like 17 and I was like, holy shit, I'm scared of this ride, was Top Thrill Dragster. But after I rode it, it was really dope.
I refuse to go on that one because I've seen it broken down so many times. And
dude, I feel like that'd be more fun because like when it goes all the way up, it comes back down, and then you're like, I get to go again for free. And I don't have to wait in line.
I had a friend named Kelsey who, her and her boyfriend were stuck upside down at the top of it, and they had to like get the crane and get the like pull them out and send them down, and they were there for like 2 hours. And
dude, I would kill myself in that situation.
It sounds miserable. It's like my worst fear.
How does your blood not all rush to your head?
That's why they got them down super quickly. They were like, we need to get those upside down people down.
2 hours. That's still quite a long time to be hanging upside down. Like, that's really tall.
My middle
however
school,
tall that is.
We went to is that Michigan Adventure or Cedar Point?
The Top Thrill Dragster?
Yeah, that's Cedar Point, right?
That's Cedar Point. Michigan Adventure is like Cedar Point's fucking autistic brother.
You're not wrong. But yeah,
no offense.
When I was in to any autistic listeners out there, sorry. When I was in middle school, our class trip, like the 8th grade trip, was to Cedar Point. And this group of like 10 kids, as soon as they got in, they ran to the Top Thrill Dragster. And you know what? I'm saying this right now. I'm glad they got stuck. They were garbage people. They ran on. As soon as we got there, they got stuck on Top Thrill Dragster. And by the time they got down, we had only had an hour left in the park. So that was their 8th grade trip, was stuck on the Top Thrill Dragster.
The best ride there is the Millennium Force.
I think I was too afraid to go on that one. I haven't been to Cedar Point since then.
The Millennium Force is the best ride. The Top Thrill Dragster is cool because it goes like super fast, but the Millennium Force goes way high, and it's a long ass ride too. So it's a really good time. I enjoy that ride. The Magnum is also very good.
I think my favorite roller coaster is the Aerosmith one at Disney.
The Rock and Roller Coaster?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite ride.
Yeah, that is a good ride.
I love the music.
I
love the atmosphere. I love the launch.
Mm-hmm. I really liked the Space Mountain ride at Disney.
Space Mountain was good.
I went when I was a real little kid, though.
Yeah, now it's kind of lame because like it's not totally dark and you can see all of the. You can see all of like shafts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I think they redid it, or they redid the one in LA. Yeah, but Big Little Lies.
Yeah, well, about your mom guessing the twist.
Mm-hmm.
I've recently been watching Attack on Titan. How far?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, I love Attack on Titan.
How far did you get in Attack on Titan?
I watched all that was out when I watched it. So, how many seasons are there?
There are 3 now, but I just finished the 2nd season last night.
I think I watched the first 2. I need to log into Crunchyroll to see. I'm just going to Google Attack on Titan.
All right. Well, anyway, the big twist. This is a big spoiler.
This basically ruins the the first 2 seasons.
If you have not seen Attack on Titan and you really care about it, don't listen to this part. Just mute me for like a couple minutes.
Or just go read the plot on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that.
We finish this sentence.
So anyway, when Reiner and Bertolt, like,
I do not remember the names, but go ahead.
The blonde guy and the black hair. No, never mind. Anyway, when they're like on top of the wall, and they very subtly, they're just like, "Oh, I'm the Armored Titan, and he's the Colossal Titan," and then it's like, as the viewer, you're watching and you're like, "Wait, what?" And then like it kind of like goes away, and then the person turns around and like stares back at him, and it's like you come to this realization at the same time that they do on screen, which was crazy to me. It was like one of the most perfectly well done twists that I've seen in any form of media. So my question was, what are some of your favorite plot twists in movies, TV, games, anything like that? But go ahead with what you were about to say. What were you going to say?
So the ending that I remember, and maybe I only saw the first season, was the girl was the blonde Titan.
Oh fuck! Well, I just spoiled the second season for you.
I'm probably not gonna watch it. When did it come
it's on
out?
Hulu. It's got up to like halfway through the third season on Hulu.
2017. Yeah, I watched the first season like right when it came out in like 2013, 2014.
You were actually the one who told me about it back in freshman year.
Yeah, I loved it when I watched it, but I just like anime is not really my thing anymore. I need to watch the new One Punch Man. The only like I've been less interested in watching TV shows. Like I'm finishing up Seinfeld right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite twist, there's got to be a book I read or something like that. Like there's a lot of great twists in the Game of Thrones books.
Yeah,
like when Ned Stark dies. Like that's a great twist.
That is a good twist.
If that's a spoiler for you, I don't care.
If you don't know Ned Stark fucking dies by now, then you're under a rock.
What would have been a really good twist is
if the writers could actually read good. If the writers could write good, I should say, actually.
Well, both of them. If the show didn't exist and we were still waiting on the book, because the last book leaves off with Jon Snow dying. If nobody knew, and like you kind of think he's gonna come back, because like it's Jon Snow, but like you don't know, he might die. Ned Stark died. And then when he comes back, would have been a really great twist to read. Maybe it's just because I'm an idiot, but there's a part in the book where the Hound and Arya are coming up on the Red Wedding, and Arya's running towards it, and then the book just writes, and then his axe caught her in the back of the head, and you don't know, and then the chapter ends, and you don't go back to Arya for the next book. So you like it's possible that Arya dies, and then when she comes back, I really liked that twist.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is like a prequel kind of to Game of Thrones, and this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, but it's like a 3-book series. I read it all in a day. It was one of the best series of one of the best books I've ever read.
It's basically just like a history book, isn't it?
No, that's Fire and Blood, which I also enjoyed tremendously. But Fire and Blood.
This is about Sir Duncan the Tall or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's about Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire Egg, and you don't know who Egg is at the beginning. And it starts off with like Dunk is just like a no-name, bottom of the barrel hedge knight, and most people don't even think he's a real hedge knight. Like people just think he's a liar. And then you do like the first book is about him at a tournament, and it's him like fighting in this fight that like is way out of his weight class. Like he's fighting some of the best fighters in the entire realm for his life. And then the second book is he works with like a random house that you've never heard of from the show or the books, and he like settles a dispute between two of them. And then the third is him and Egg, who is his squire, who's actually a Targaryen, who's like the 4th son of the Targaryen king. And he just hangs out with you, and like the king tells you to keep him around with you to tell him what it's like to be a normal person in the Seven Kingdoms. And it's the backstory of why he was such a great king and how tragic it is that he died the way he did. But the third book, he goes to this tournament, and there's all these mystery people here, and at the end, I'm gonna spoil it, but it's so good. At the end, like the whole tournament was a gathering for the Blackfires, which are like
Targaryen
the rebel
bastards, right?
Yeah, the Targaryen bastards who tried to usurp the throne, and like there was this big civil war that was fought, and they lost, and like the bastard line went across the seas to Essos. But there's still a ton of people like in this era of Westeros who are secretly loyal to this family. And one of the mystery knights who's just incredibly good is the son of the guy who tried to take the throne, and nobody knows until the very end when he like unveils himself to you. And I say you, like it's told through the perspective of Sir Duncan the Tall.
Right.
But he unveils himself to you, and all these people are like, it's mayhem, and you realize like that Sir Duncan the Tall is in this nest. He's in this castle of people who are hell bent on killing the actual Targaryens. So they're hell bent on killing your squire, and then they're hell bent on killing you because you helped them. And then at some point, like this random guy who, his last name's Plum. And I think one of the videos we watched together talked about how, like, this guy could be Bloodraven, who is, like, a different Targaryen bastard who stayed loyal and helped them. And, like, at the end, like, when everything looks most dire, Bloodraven, who's the Targaryen bastard who stayed loyal, brings an army and, like, swoops in and saves the day. And that twist of that, like, just all of those people being there in one place in one time and how George R. Martin put those pieces together was just one of my favorite ways that a book actually subverted expectations in a good way, as opposed to the ways that they like to do it in the show. I know I rambled on, but what are some of your favorite twists?
Some of my favorite twists. I really enjoy True Detective, the first season. That twist where the scarred man gets up off the mower and he's like, "My family's been around here for a long, long time." You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That scene, when I first saw it, my jaw was like on the floor. Also, another twist that you can attest for because you were sitting right next to me from Persona 5. I literally went through every emotion in like 5 minute span. It was nuts. That scene where Joker is in the cell. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I still don't fully understand what was happening there.
Me fucking neither, and I've played the game like 3 times now. And
I think that's the fault of the game being like, we need to wrap this up because the game's 100 hours long. But yeah, I really enjoyed the way that they tied those bows. And like, it's kind of, you can kind of see that something's up, but the layers that they put into the way that Joker talks to Sae was so good.
Yeah,
and
when I was watching it, I
yourself.
legitimately didn't know if I fucked up or not. I was like, am I going to have to play this game all over again to get the good
when
ending?
I was watching you watch this unfold, I was like, oh, I want to see what he... I was just telling you to keep talking
and
to try
I was
and figure it out.
extremely happy. I was like, when fucking Ryuji's like, we got him. I was like, yeah! Like, it was nuts.
You literally yelled yes.
Yeah, it was. That game is like top 3, hands down.
I've watched a lot. I played probably the first 10 hours or so.
Yeah.
If it comes out for the Switch, I'll probably buy it.
I'm really excited for the remake.
Yeah, the remake looks cool. I don't know if I had played it as much as you. I don't think I would be down for the remake. This is a good transition. Are there any games that are coming out soon that you're excited for? E3's about to happen. It's actually happening today. Probably, I think it started 22 minutes ago.
Okay, interesting. Are there any? Cyberpunk is really the only one I'm really looking forward to. Cyberpunk 2077. That's really the only one that I'm like probably gonna pre-order, just because CD Projekt Red, The Witcher 3. I mean, that's as close to a perfect game in my opinion as you can get. I love The Witcher 3.
I think Matt stole my copy. But yeah, there's supposedly new PlayStation being announced, new Xbox being announced. I'm excited for both of those. I'll probably pick up a new Xbox. I just got a chunk of birthday money, but like I said, I'm
Pro.
unemployed.
I don't need a new PlayStation for a while. You think it's gonna be like a whole new generation, or do you think it's just gonna be like an upgrade?
I think it's going to be a whole new generation.
That would be nuts.
Every 10 years or so is how they're doing these. Like, it was 10 years from the 360 to the One, and then another 10 years from... And then it's been 10 years since we've had the Xbox One, so...
Here's another game I'm
like
looking forward to. Death Stranding. Looks very good.
I saw that the new trailer come out. Did it look good? Because the original trailer I saw just looked totally
I still have no idea what the fuck's going on in it, but it actually looks like a decent game. And I mean, when you got Guillermo del Toro behind anything, you're going to get something good. I enjoy Guillermo del Toro. Mads Mikkelsen is in it, and Norman Reedus, the guy who plays Daryl in The Walking Dead.
That's one of the games where I'm going to have to watch a playthrough or a live stream, because I don't have a PlayStation. I don't want to buy it for my brother.
Oh, is it a PlayStation exclusive?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I'm
I guess.
excited for the new Pokemon games, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Usually I try to like black out from Pokemon news when the new one comes out. Like I did that for X and Y. I didn't pay attention to any of the new Pokemon, any of the new areas, nothing. And I was tempted to do that with this one, but I don't really like going into games blind. Like I don't want to like work hard and get this cool Pokemon team and realize all the Pokemon I got were shit. And they're not going to be good late game. So yeah, I'm excited for them to talk about that. They might be talking about it right now. I don't know which one I'm going to buy yet.
You know, they don't show any of the good stuff until like the second or third day anyway.
Yeah, I don't know when the Nintendo press conference is actually. But yeah, a lot of people are saying if you get Shield, you're a bitch. I don't know about that. Usually, I get whatever game I think is going to be least popular, just because that's just how I like to do it. Like I'd rather have the Pokemon exclusives that people are looking for rather than the one that everybody has. Like that's why I got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. For one, I like Eevee more than Pikachu. But everybody
I know that has that game got the Eevee version. I haven't seen one Pikachu version.
What? Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe just all the old people got the Eevee version because Pikachu's lame.
Pikachu's cool. Eevee is cooler though. The only thing I don't like about it is that you can't evolve him.
No, that's so lame how you can't evolve the Eevee. So you basically like to be fair,
he gets some
Eevee and the
badass
Pikachu
moves
that you
though,
get
doesn't
are
he?
Overpowered.
Yeah, that's from what I've seen. Eevee is overpowered even when he's not evolved. So
yeah, I enjoyed that game. A lot of people had issue with it, but I knew what I was getting. I knew it was going to be.
I mean,
kind
it's
of a
essentially just
dumbed-down
fire
version
red
of
and leaf
Pokemon.
green. It's the same
It's
version.
less than that. You don't go into any of the islands. It's closer to the original like Pokemon Red with with a lot of quality of life fixes. My biggest gripe was you couldn't play like if you had the Switch docked, you couldn't play with both the controllers. You needed to use one Joy-Con, and the Joy-Cons are so small and it doesn't fit my hand comfortably. That was the issue
I didn't
had.
like the whole Pokemon Go. This is how you catch Pokemon now thing. I thought
that was
kinda
also
dumb.
annoying. But like there are so few Pokemon in that game, they had to gamify catching it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think they validated it. You want to wrap soon? We're almost at an hour.
Yeah, I actually had one more thing to bring up.
Okay, yeah.
I recently read an article that the humanity will come to an end by 2050.
That's soon.
Yeah. Well, not humanity will come to an end, but like the Earth will become uninhabitable or some shit like that. But
yeah, we're getting to the point right now where the Earth is kind of fucked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, people have been saying that for such a long time, since like ever. People are like, "Oh, the world's gonna end in 10 years." You know what I mean? And then it doesn't. Like, remember 2012?
Yeah. Well, that was like the Mayan calendar.
Yeah,
this is
right.
scientists going, "Oh, it's unsustainable if we keep going down." So
That's
yeah, I've recently been more pessimistic about the world.
Oh yeah, big time.
In general,
I mean,
I think
shit is
everybody
fucked.
our age kind of is. Like, I think you said it best when you were like, "I'm not going to kill myself, but if I died right now, I wouldn't be too upset." I think that really, I think you spoke for our generation when you said that.
Honestly, I mean, shit is truly fucked. But anyway, it got me thinking. What would you do in an apocalyptic situation like that? So, like, let me set the scene for you. Say you're curled up in your IKEA chair, right? You got your blanket over your head.
As is tradition.
Mm-hmm. You're drinking your large mug of Minute Maid lemonade. You got your bowl of pretzels. You're watching your favorite news anchor, Tucker Carlson, as he's talking about Trump.
I do
as
love
he
me
does.
some Tuck. In
Yeah.
2050, President Ivanka Trump, or not President, Chancellor Ivanka Trump has been
Supreme
in
leader
power for over 30 years.
Anyway,
Baron Trump.
so Tucker Carlson, he reaches up to his earpiece and he's like, "Oh my God."
My God.
He goes, "Breaking news, everyone. The mission failed. Bruce Willis wasn't able to blow up the meteor heading towards Earth."
I didn't think he was going to go there.
Yep. Says a meteor is coming towards Earth. It's 3 times the size of that of the dinosaurs.
I don't think this is the apocalypse that the scientists were predicting. But
No, but this is the apocalypse that I'm predicting.
Okay.
So anyway, he goes, these are truly the end times, he says. And he pulls out a gun and he says, "May God have mercy on your soul." And he shoots himself in the head. and you spit out your lemonade and you drop your pretzels all over the floor. You say, "No, Tucker.
Not
Why
Tucker.
must the good die young?" You say. And then you look out your window. Here comes a fucking big-ass meteorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do in this situation?
I get baked and I call it a day. I can't. You can't do anything.
All right, here's what I would do.
Okay.
I would put in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and I would time it up just so that when the nuke goes off in that movie and Sarah Connor becomes a skeleton person, the meteorite would hit and I would become a skeleton person.
What's a hell of a... And the aliens looking down from space are like, I can't believe he actually timed it right.
The absolute mad lad, they would say.
Okay, thank you very much for listening, guys.
If you're going to cut it when I
this has
said
been
that, they're
a
not going to hear
podcast.
this.
I'm going to put... I'll put this
Oh,
after.
okay. Well, I should say also, we're going to want to try to do this more regularly, I think. At least I am.
I'm thinking once
Yeah,
a week.
I would
So
like that.
I can have this edited by Thursday, and then we can put it out on Friday.
Sounds good. And we can do this every Sunday?
Yeah, we can do it at some point during the week with our deadline being
Friday.
Thursday. Okay, peace out.
Later, bro.